The Wilson family reunion was exactly what I had anticipated. Vintage wine, designer outfits, and the unmistakable sound of my sister Amanda's smug laugh bouncing off the walls of our parents' mansion. "Oh, Olivia is still stuck at that government gig," she announced to our cousins, swirling her glass of champagne. "Something about reviewing permits, or who knows?" "Yep, that's me," I replied smoothly, sipping water and letting them assume I couldn't afford the bubbly. If only they realized I owned the vineyard that produced it. "Must be tough watching everyone else climb while you shuffle papers," my cousin Stephanie added, a hint of pity in her voice. By everyone else, they clearly meant Amanda, the golden child who had turned Wilson Global into one of Chicago's biggest investment firms. She never missed an opportunity to remind me that I had opted for a mundane career in regulatory oversight instead of joining the family empire. "We all have bills to pay," I said, smiling inwardly at the thought of my corner office on the top floor of the FTC's merger division, where tomorrow a very interesting case would land on my desk. My mother glided over, diamonds catching the light, and kissed Amanda's cheek. "Darling, tell them about Wilson Global's latest triumph." "The city's buzzing." Amanda basked in the attention. "Well, I suppose I can spill a little. We're about to announce the company's biggest merger ever. 500 million. She shot me a look heavy with faux sympathy. "Million, Olivia. I know numbers like that aren't your usual playground." If only she knew how many billion-dollar deals passed through my hands weekly. As Deputy Director of Merger Review, I had the authority to approve or block any major corporate consolidation. Not that my family bothered to notice. "That's impressive," I said casually. "When's the big reveal?" "Tomorrow morning. Everything's under wraps. Paperwork's already at the FTC, she said, smirking. "Not that you'd know what that entails." Our father appeared, beaming and slapping Amanda on the shoulder. "My girl's about to make history. Biggest deal Wilson Global has ever done." "The Mitchell Group won't see it coming," Amanda added, naming their main rival. "Once this merger goes through, we'll control 30% of the market." I nearly choked on my water. 30%. Enough to trigger an automatic regulatory review. And that review, it would land squarely on my desk, flagged urgent. 30%, I repeated evenly. "That's notable." Amanda rolled her eyes. "Oh, Olivia, don't start with your bureaucratic lectures. Our lawyers have it covered. Everything's perfectly legal." Our cousin Blake, a corporate attorney, nodded. "I've reviewed it myself. Ironclad." Amanda waved me off. "Besides, it's not like some government official could stop a deal this big. We've got connections in all the right places." I thought about the senators, CEOs, and former governors listed as references in their filing. Impressive resumes, sure, but irrelevant once I had the numbers in front of me. "You're awfully confident," I said mildly. "I know business," Amanda sneered. "Unlike some people. Remember when Dad offered you a VP role? Could have joined us. Instead, you chose to be invisible." The room murmured agreement. Even Mom shook her head, probably thinking back to my repeated refusals to join the family firm. "Speaking of invisible," Aunt Margaret added. "So, Olivia, dating anyone?" 35 and single, dear. Time's ticking. I thought about next week's dinner with the CEO of America's largest investment bank. He'd been begging for my private number for months, not realizing I was the same Olivia Wilson who had blocked his last 3 merger attempts. "I'm focused on work," I said simply. More pitying glances. More sympathetic smiles. Amanda patted my hand patronizingly. "Of course, sweetie. Can't all have it all." My phone buzzed. A text from my assistant. "Preliminary review of Wilson-Mitchell merger complete. Major red flags. Full report on your desk tomorrow morning." I typed back, "Clear my morning meetings. This one needs my personal attention." "Probably her boss calling her in again," Amanda whispered theatrically to our cousins. "Government workers. Always running someone else's errands." I straightened my sleek black dress, the same one Amanda had mocked for being off the rack. Little did she know it was a custom piece by a top designer, reserved for clients who wield real influence. Actually, I said, collecting my bag, I should head out. Big day ahead. Amanda chuckled. Oh sure. Those permits won't review themselves. At the door she called after me one last jab. Don't worry, Olivia. Maybe once this merger is done, I can find you a proper position at Wilson Global. Something more fitting. I allowed myself a faint smile. How kind of you, Amanda. I'll be thinking of you tomorrow. Poor Olivia, I heard her mutter as I left. Still a nobody after all these years. Once in my car, I opened the preliminary report my assistant had sent. Market manipulation. Predatory pricing. Hidden shell companies. Wilson Global's perfect merger was a ticking regulatory bomb. And tomorrow, Amanda would learn exactly what kind of nobody she had been mocking. The Federal Trade Commission's Merger Review Division spanned the top 3 floors of a gleaming downtown tower. My corner office, with sweeping views of the city, gave me a clear line of sight to Wilson Global headquarters, 8 blocks away. I arrived early, watching the sunrise over Chicago. Right now, Amanda was likely rehearsing for her press conference, one that would never happen. Morning, Director Wilson, my assistant Michael greeted, handing me a thick folder. Complete merger files for Wilson Global, plus overnight analysis from the team. I smiled at the title. Another detail my family never bothered to remember. Anything juicy? Yes. Michael opened the folder. Hidden subsidiaries in 3 countries. Artificially inflated markets. Predatory tactics against smaller firms. They've been planning this takeover for months. And the Mitchell Group seems to be an unwilling target. Wilson Global has quietly been acquiring their debt through shell companies. I scanned the documents, layer after layer of my sister's supposedly flawless merger unraveling. Who signed off on their legal review? Their lead counsel is Blake Wilson, Michael said. Our cousin Blake, the same one nodding so confidently at last night's reunion. Mental note. Review all his work carefully. My phone buzzed. Amanda. I ignored it. Director, Michael hesitated. Given your family ties, should we reassign this case? I thought of Amanda's smirk, my parents' dismissive glances, the years of being underestimated. No. I'm exactly the right person to handle this. By 9 a.m., Wilson Global's PR had released their merger announcement. By 9:15, their stock had soared 20 points. At 9:30, my secretary notified me of the expected call. Your sister Amanda is on line 1. She's insistent. I put her on speaker. FTC merger review. Director Wilson speaking. Tense pause. Then, Olivia. Good morning, Amanda. I assume this is about the Wilson-Mitchell merger. Director Wilson. Her confident tone faltered. Since when are you Deputy Director of Merger Review? 5 years. Though you'd know that if you'd ever cared to ask. I glanced at my perfectly manicured nails. Congratulations on the announcement. Very impressive numbers. Olivia, we need to discuss this privately, as family, she said, voice trembling. Interesting, I replied. Last night I was a nobody shuffling papers. Today you want a private chat. This merger is critical for Wilson Global. Dad's counting on it. The board too. Then proper due diligence would have been wise. I tapped a button, and their financials lit up on the wall screen. Shall we start with regulatory violations or antitrust concerns? Whatever you found we can explain. Our lawyers have reviewed it, she pleaded. You mean Cousin Blake? Yes. We'll discuss his oversights separately, I interrupted, pulling up another report. By the way, how many shell companies did you set up in the Caymans? I count 7, but there may be more. A loud crash echoed through the speaker. Apparently, Amanda had dropped something. Really, Amanda? How did you miss all of this? Analyzing complex corporate structures is literally my job. The very one you mocked for years while blatantly breaking every rule in the book. My phone lit up again. This time it was Dad. I let it ring. The press conference is in an hour, Amanda whispered, panic creeping into her voice. Everyone in the business world will be watching. Then I suggest you prepare a very different announcement, I replied. I reached for the crimson stamp on my desk, the one reserved for immediate regulatory action. This merger isn't merely denied, Amanda. It's being escalated to a criminal investigation. Criminal? Her voice shattered with disbelief. You can't do this. We're family. Funny, I said. Family didn't seem to matter last night when you were calling me a failure. The stamp came down with a solid, satisfying thud. But you're right about one thing. Family should look out for each other. Consider this me saving you from federal prosecution. The doors flew open. My father stormed in, face flushed, Amanda trailing behind. They froze, taking in my office, the wall of awards, the panoramic Chicago skyline behind me. What is the meaning of this? He barked. I rose slowly. Security breach on the executive floor. Michael, escort our unauthorized visitors out and revoke their access immediately. Olivia, my father said quietly, let's discuss this reasonably. Princess. I laughed. Last night I was the family disappointment. Funny how quickly perspectives shift when you finally understand someone's true position. Amanda stepped forward. The board meets in 10 minutes. What do I say? Tell them the truth, I said. Their illegal merger was caught by the nobody in the family, the same nobody now ordering a full audit of Wilson Global's past acquisitions. My father sank into a chair. Past acquisitions. You actually looked. I pressed a button and the screens filled with data. Every deal from the last 5 years. Every shortcut, every violation. It's all here. You'll ruin the company, Amanda whispered. No, I said, sitting back. You already did that by assuming rules didn't apply to Wilson Global. But I'm feeling generous. I'll give you 48 hours to submit a restructuring plan, one that includes new leadership. New leadership. My father's face went white. You want control of Wilson Global. Me. I wield actual authority, Dad. Real power. Wilson Global would be a step down. But the Mitchell Group has some excellent executives. You might want to look there. Smiled. Security arrived to escort them out. At the doorway, Amanda turned. Why? Why do this to your own family? I thought of all the dinners where they dismissed my work, all the reunions where I was a cautionary tale, and the years spent watching them flaunt rules while mocking those who enforced them. Someone had to show them that being a nobody in government service outranks being a somebody above the law. Once they were gone, Michael brought in the next batch of merger files. That was intense, he said. Family usually is, I replied, opening the next file. And send a copy of our Wilson Global findings to the SEC. Let's ensure Amanda's next interview is with federal prosecutors. That evening, as Wilson Global stock tumbled and business channels buzzed with news of the blocked merger, I got a text from Mom. Please, can we talk? I typed back. Of course. My assistant will schedule a meeting. There's an opening next month. Or you can try your luck with the nobody at the permit office. Sometimes success isn't just about proving people wrong. Sometimes it's about letting them see exactly how wrong they were, one denied merger at a time. A week later, Wilson Global announced sweeping leadership changes. Amanda resigned, my father retired early, and Cousin Blake's law license came under review. Me. I kept doing what I've always done, protecting the market from those who thought a family name put them above the rules. That Friday, my new office nameplate arrived. Director of the entire division. Still a nobody, I whispered, tracing the engraved letters. Just a nobody with the power to humble the somebodies. The next family reunion would be interesting if they dared to hold one at all.